Hey y'all, it's your girl Kimmy, and welcome to my channel Authentic Soul. This channel is all about spiritual enlightenment, guidance, and healing. Okay, y'all, so let's go ahead and get into the spiritual tea of the day. Today we're going to be reading a scripture from Psalms 107, and it's verses 1 through 3. And God sends me this scripture whenever He's telling me that I need to speak up and speak out about what He has been doing in my life. So the scripture says, "Give thanks to the Lord, for He is good. His faithful love endures forever. Has the Lord redeemed you? Then speak out. Tell others He has redeemed you from your enemies. For He has gathered the exiles from many lands, from east and west, from north and south." So this scripture is saying that whatever God has redeemed you, meaning whatever He has saved you from, that it is time for us to stand up and speak out about it, because our experiences and our breakthroughs can help somebody else know that God is real, that God is a healer, that God is a protector. Because right now, the enemy is coming after a lot of us from all sides, and a lot of us are experiencing a lot of spiritual warfare. So God is calling His chosen ones, His people, to stand up and speak out, because that way others know that if He saved you from this type of situation, then they know that they can also be redeemed and saved from their situation. And also, like, when we speak up about our experiences and things that we've been through, they can help somebody else. Your experiences, your trials, your tribulations can help somebody else in their situation. So I just want to talk about a specific situation that happened with me a couple weeks ago. And this situation started off with a dream that I had. And when I had the dream, I didn't really understand it until something had happened to me. So about a couple weeks ago, I had a dream, and I was like standing in a walkway, and on like the right side of me was a living room, and I could see like the couches and the tables, and then on the other side of me was like a kitchen area, and the kitchen looked out into the living room. So in the front of me, a little bit to the right side, there was a door. There was a door, and it was like I can see like my husband, and I know that was my husband because I could tell like by the clothes he was wearing, but I could only see like the back of his head. And so I guess I'm standing there and I'm waiting for him to walk through this door. And the door was kind of like I could see through the door. So I'm standing there and I'm waiting for him, and I noticed that there's like a woman standing in the kitchen, but I couldn't really see her face. Like her face was kind of like blurred out. So as my husband walks through the door, he starts to walk closer to me. And as he's getting closer to me, like, he didn't seem like familiar to me. Like, he seemed like a different type of person. Like, and I'm like, I know this is my husband, but he doesn't. As he got closer to me, like, he didn't look like my husband. And like, just like, I just got this feeling, this weird like feeling. And so now he's standing right in front of me, and I see that he's like wearing this wig or whatever. It's this curly black wig, and it was long. And I'm like, I know that this is my husband, but he just doesn't seem like my husband. So I reached up and I snatched the wig off. So as I snatched the wig off, like, I just got scared. Like, I literally went in a panic because what I seen was like not my husband. This person was not my husband. And like, this thing had like bug eyes and like big lips and like big buck teeth or whatever. And so like, I started swinging. Like, I started swinging, I started kicking, I started screaming. And so I got this thing that was pretending to be my husband. I beat it down to the ground. So I'm on top of this thing, and I'm pounding on it, I'm pounding on it, and I'm screaming. And so and so as I'm screaming or whatever, there's the woman that was standing in the kitchen. She's just standing there looking at me. And I'm like calling out for help. And so as I'm calling out for help, she just turns her back. So I finally get up, and there was like a back door or whatever. So I get up, I turn around, and I run out the back door. So as I'm running out the back door, it's like I'm running through the field because like I can see grass. And then next thing you know, like, I can see like bushes with like flowers and stuff. And so like, I'm running through the grass, and then I get to like a sidewalk. There's a sidewalk, and then there's a street. And then across the street was like some type of like apartment. And I felt like I'd been there before, like it looked familiar to me or whatever. So as I'm standing on the sidewalk, I'm looking around, and I'm like, okay, I've been here before. But there was absolutely like nobody around to help me. There was nobody there. I was the only one standing there. And so like, that scared me, and so I suddenly woke up. And so like, I just kept pondering on that dream for like 2 days, and I'm like, God, what does this dream mean? What does this dream mean? So it was just like I was on guard, you know. And so like 2 days had passed or whatever. So like, on the third day, like, my husband goes, hey, he had to go drop something at his homeboy's house or whatever. So he left at like, I don't know, like 10:30 at night or whatever. So it was just me and my 3 girls there, and they were, you know, laying down sleep or whatever. And not this time, I only had like a 1 bedroom. So my kids, I had turned the living room into like a play area and stuff like that. So they slept in the living room. And so I would go out the front door, you know, to like smoke or whatever, like throughout the night or whatever. So as I went out the door or whatever, so my husband was gone for like 30 minutes. So I was up late because I was doing homework or whatever. I had like a big essay that was due or whatever. So I'm up late doing homework. So I decided, like, you know what? I'm about to go outside, take a smoke break or whatever. So I went and stepped out onto like my patio area or whatever, and it was like really quiet outside, and there wasn't really like nobody outside, and there's usually like people outside. They're usually like, people walking down the sidewalk, because my apartment like faced out to like the street or whatever, so there wasn't even like cars going down the street or anything like that. My neighbors, like, they're usually outside. Nobody was outside, so I'm sitting there smoking or whatever, and so I see this guy that I had talked to like maybe like once or twice. I had seen him around the neighborhood or whatever, so he was kind of like scrounging for cigarettes or whatever. And I kind of like, I never really talked to that man like in depth or anything, just like, hey, hello, how are you, or whatever. So, I see him scrounging for cigarettes, and then he approaches me, and I kind of like had my back to like my, I kind of had my back turned, so I kind of like turned my body, to talk to him, but something was like, you need to like turn around. So I ended up turning all the way around, because it was like my guard was kind of up for whatever reason. So I turned around, and at first I was kind of like ignoring him or whatever, but then he starts talking about God or whatever. And so then, like, that like intrigued me to like engage in conversation with him. So, um, then the conversation, within like 5 minutes, it gets like weird or whatever. And so he starts talking about he's part of the elite, and do I know the elite? And then he starts asking for my name and everything. So the conversation just started to get weird. So then he was just like, can you, um, then he starts like asking to use my phone, and I'm like, no, you can't use my phone or whatever, because he's like, oh, some woman had took his bike and all this stuff, like talking about he got his stuff stolen. Like, it just started to get weird. So I'm like, no, you can't use my phone or whatever. So he's like, well, can I get some cigarettes? And I was like, yeah, that's fine or whatever. So I just really wanted this man away from my house. So I went in to my house to go get him some cigarettes or whatever. And so, as I walked through the door, like, I left him by like my window. Like, he was not at my door. He was kind of like maybe like 3 feet away from my door. So I'm like, stay right here, whatever. So I go in the house, and it was just like my angels were like, you need to lock that door behind you. So I kind of slowly locked my door to where like he couldn't hear I was locking it. And I don't even know why I did that, you know what I'm saying? So I kind of slowly locked the door or whatever. So I walk past my kids or whatever. I go to the kitchen table, get the cigarettes or whatever. I go walk past my kids. So now I'm at the front door or whatever. And so I'm unlocking the front door. Next thing you know, like, I kind of like barely had opened the door, and the man is standing right at my door. And he's like, can I come in? And I was like, no. And I think I threw the cigarettes or whatever. And I hurried up and shut my door. Like, well, as he was saying, like, can I come in? He was like stepping, like trying to step in to the door. But I didn't have it like fully open. And so I was just like, I just remember like screaming like, no. And I think I threw the cigarettes out the door or whatever. And he kind of like backed off a little bit, and I shut the door. And then like, I just like, I don't know if like adrenaline was rushing or whatever. So I kind of like start to get mad. You know what I'm saying? Like, this man, like, tried to just enter my house or whatever. But it was like, let me back up a little bit. But it was like when I had opened the door and seen him standing right there by my door, like, it was like fear came over me, but I felt like in fear for my life, like I was about to lose my life. And it was just like my kids are sleeping right here, you know what I'm saying? Like, I just felt like, and like I was gonna die, like. And it was like when I seen the man's face, like his face looked like he had like a blank look on his face, and he just felt like giant, like he was kind of like towering over me. And I was just like, oh my God, like I'm gonna die. And so I shut the door or whatever, and I just, like, I don't know if adrenaline kicked in or whatever. Leia! Okay. Okay. Sorry, y'all. My baby's playing. So, I don't know if adrenaline kicked in or whatever. Like, I started to get mad, so I walked out the door, and I was just like, you shouldn't be trying to break into nobody's house. And the man got so mad. And he's like, what do you have, a hair up your ass or something? And so he turned and he was like trying to come back towards me, but all of a sudden he stopped. And then he walked off. So, like, I immediately get on the phone, you know, and I call my husband or whatever. And so this man's gonna tell me, I'm like, look, this weird guy just tried to walk in the house or whatever. So he tells me, like, are you okay? Like, do I need to come home? So I immediately got like upset, because it's like you're supposed to be my husband. Like, I'm home alone with these kids. It's late at night. There's nobody outside. Like, there was nobody outside when all this stuff was going on. There was nobody there. And the first person I think was like, you know, let me call my husband or whatever. And he's going to be like, well, I'm over so and so's house and I'm getting these, trying to download these files or whatever. So, like, do I really need to come home? And I'm like, are you serious? So I just hung up the phone, because I couldn't even believe that he was like literally saying this to me. Like, I couldn't even believe, like, for the longest of time, it's just been me and my husband and my kids. Like, so, like, if anything happens to me, like, I pick up the phone and I call my husband. And I just can't even believe, like, why should that even be a question in your mind? You know, you should drop whatever you're doing and come to my aid. So, like, I'm just feeling, like, so pissed off, like, and I'm just, like, in awe at this moment, like, what the hell? And so, I think I was still in shock. Like, I went back to the table, you know, locked up my house or whatever. I went back to the table and I started finishing, like, my essay or whatever, because I'm like, it's due at a certain time. And so I go back to the table, I finish my homework, I turn it in or whatever. And so, like, maybe like 45 minutes to an hour later, here this man come calling me. Here this man come calling me, talking about trying to ask what the guy looked like and which direction did he go. Like, first of all, you should have came right then when I called you. It should have been no question in your mind. So now I'm like what the hell were you doing? What were you doing that was so important that you couldn't come? So when he actually gets to the house, it's like an hour had passed. You know what I'm saying? And when he did call me, I was just like, I didn't even want to talk to him. I didn't want to talk to him. I didn't want to say nothing. So he gets to the house, he's knocking on the door, you know, I'm looking out the window, looking out the peephole, and I'm like, all right, it's him. But when I answer the door, like, he is completely, like, out his mind. Like, he is drunk, like, so drunk, like, to where he could barely stand up. And, like, he just, like, I'm staring at him, but at the same time, I felt like I wasn't looking at him. And so, like, I let him in the house, and he just starts arguing with me, starts trying to cuss me out and everything. And I'm like, are you serious? Like, you don't even ask me, like, how I've been. I mean, not like how I've been, but, like, you're not even asking me, like, are you okay? Like, you're not even showing no type of concern, like, no type of care. Like, you're just cussing me out, just talking down to me or whatever. And so I'm just like, are you, like, I just can't even believe this. You know what I'm saying? Like, it just really hurt me. Like, literally broke my heart. Like, literally, I don't even know how to explain the pain that I was even feeling. And it was just like, then I just started feeling like reality started to kick in to like what really happened with that man and everything. So I was just like, you know what? I need to get in the shower. Like, I just need to walk. I just need to cleanse myself. Like, I just need to get in the shower. So, like, I get in the shower and I just start breaking down. Like, I'm just breaking down and I'm just crying. Like before I got in the shower, I had turned on, you know, some spiritual music or whatever. It was just like, I just needed to feel God's presence. And I just start breaking down in the shower, like, and then I just immediately thought about the dream that I had. And it was just like, when I really needed you, like, you were not there. And in reality, every time that I really needed you, you were not there. Like, I shouldn't even be, like, me and your kids should not even be, like, a second thought in your mind. We should be, we should be your first thought. Like, if we are in trouble, you should automatically drop whatever you're doing and come to our aid. And that is just when, like, I just stopped all communication with this man because it was just like, something is just not right. Something is just not right. Like, what were you doing that you couldn't, like, that you couldn't get here? I don't care about what you were saying you were doing, but for you to show up drunk, and to me, it looked like he was on some type of drugs because it was just like I didn't even recognize him when he got to the house. Like, I didn't even recognize him. Like, I'm looking at him, but it doesn't look like my husband. It looks like something. It just looked like something evil. And I'm just saying this because, first of all, like, I don't know what could have happened. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm just praising God and thanking God every day that I'm able to wake up and see my kids. And, you know, even though that nobody was around, like, God still had his hand on me and he still protected me and my little ones. Even when there's nobody like around to help you, like God is still there. And I just, for the first time, I realized like I really do not have nobody in my corner. Like the people that I think that are in my corner are not really in my corner. The people that I think that have my back, and the people that I think that will stand up for me and fight for me are not really there. And it just made me realize like the only person I have is God. Like when there is nobody, I know that I can call on God, and I know that he will be there. Like I know that my angels were surrounding me that night, surrounding my home, surrounding my kids, because like I literally felt like I wasn't gonna be here anymore. And that is like a horrible feeling. And I know that man was doing something that he had no business doing. But I'll get to that in another video. But like I just really need to talk about that, because I just been holding in like a lot of things, you know. And it was just like, how, I don't even know, y'all. Like I don't even know. Like sometimes you could be sleeping with the enemy, okay? Like this man turned out to be my enemy. And sometimes God will reveal who is for you and who is against you. And when he does, like sometimes it hurts, you know? Sometimes it hurts, but you gotta know. Because when he starts bringing you on this spiritual journey and he starts leveling you up, slowly but surely people start dropping off like flies, because not everybody is meant for you. Not everybody is meant to go with you on this next level wherever God is leading you to. And like I literally, after that moment, like I literally cut off all communication with this man, because I'm just like, the sun is everywhere. But I'm just like, that is not a man, that is not a husband. And it was just like, I started thinking about like my ancestors, like my grandfather, like my uncles, you know, and how they were protectors. Like they never let me get hurt, you know what I'm saying? And so it was just like they were making me realize like this man is not for you. And that's what I'm saying, like don't ignore like the red flags in like your friendships and your relationships. Like don't ignore the red flags, because God is uncovering things. He is revealing truths. And so you just cannot ignore what he's been trying to show you. But it's like these people are like in your immediate circle that are like betraying you. And these are people that you thought loved you, that you thought was, you know, happy for you, happy for your success. And they're really not. And it's like a lot of people have been wearing masks. A lot of people have been wearing masks, and they're starting to reveal who they truly are, because it's like you can't hide who you truly are for long. Eventually, the person who you truly are is going to come out one way or the other. But some people are really good about hiding who they are. But it's like you have to use discernment, you know what I'm saying? Like you got to see past the BS. So I just wanted to share that with y'all. And it's like I think I think it just really hurts and it hits different when it's like somebody that betrays you and is deceitful, and someone that lies to you all the time. It like hits different when it's like somebody that you are married to, that you are like really close with. This could be a friendship or whatever. This could be a family member, a mother, a cousin, like just somebody that you have grown up with. And it just really hits different when like you're thinking that these people are supposed to love you, that these people are supposed to like be there for you and love you and guide you. And it's like when they betray you, it really hits differently. So like I definitely understand what a lot of people are going through right now. But man, all I know is God shows up time and time again. God shows up time and time again. And so you got to know that even if you feel like you have nobody, like God is always there for you. And you just got to keep trusting God and keep your faith and your trust strong in God, and just know that he's a healer. Just know that he's a protector. And man, like he is my everything, and he is truly my father. Cause okay. And there was times where I had nobody in my life, and he just showed up, and he shows up every time. So I just wanted to share that with y'all, and I hope that you guys are having a blessed and wonderful and beautiful day. And don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. If you would like to have a personal reading for me, everything is going to be linked down in the description box. All right, y'all. Have a blessed day.